So you're starting yourself a new career mode, and this year there's a hell of a lot of new settings to go for it. And you're looking to find out what those settings do, and how do you set up the most realistic career mode possible. Today I'm going to try and do that. Today I'm going to try and guide you through the settings and give you what I think is the most realistic career mode settings possible. And we're going to start here with transfers. Of course, if you're starting a new save, yeah, you know, we all want to play about with the transfers. We all want to sign new players. I completely get it. But for realism, you would disable the first window because it's already been done. It's already gone in real life. This has already happened. If you wanted real realism, pick Manchester City and give them a 14-year transfer embargo. But that isn't something we want to do. There's only transfers, only loans. None of those are realistic, but disabling the first window would be. Scouting, I'm going to keep that on. Training plans, I'm going to keep that on. You choose whatever difficulty level works for you. No financial takeover. And the board expectations, this isn't realistic to do this, to be honest with you, but it's the funnest way to play the game this year. It's the funnest way to ever play the game. Turn it off. There's no more sacking on this game, boys. Get that one turned off. Now, when it comes to your match, again, this is all preference. I do 5 minutes legendary, and then I do 4 minutes for the youth tournaments with their current overalls. Do not use full potential. This is not realistic. You should have no idea how this youth player is going to fully turn out in reality, so go with the current overall. They are really bad to use, but it makes sense. And then when it comes to the gameplay style, this year you do have some options. You can stick with the classic. You could tweak the sliders yourself. Please go simulation. I am playing simulation with medium wind effects and also weather effects on. And you will see by the sliders that they are changed for a slower pace of football. The acceleration's up. The shot errors are down. I'm actually really enjoying it because these, although they're not the same, these aren't actually miles off the sliders that I used in last year's game. We do need more injuries, though. That is a problem. I've had these on. They're on 70. I've had about 1 injury. Don't get me wrong, it was a big injury to Brennan Johnson. But apart from that, I've only had 1 injury because the severity is just like ramped way down. I would like more niggling injuries and have that injury frequency up even more. So if you were going to edit sliders, I would keep the base simulation sliders and maybe ramp up the injuries. You're going to see a lot more low-scoring games because of the marking, as you can see there, the goalkeeper ability, stuff like that. There's not players making as many runs. So you will see a lot more low-scoring games. So I would say at least 5 minutes for this one, boys. Maybe even 6 minutes. I'm toying with going up to 6. But it is more realistic to have much lower scoring games. It just is. I have kept AI behavior here, though, on tactical. Now, you can use dynamic, but it does mean that teams won't play like themselves. That they will be very random. It's going to feel very random, and I haven't fully tested out dynamic yet to see how that AI behavior is going to feel. And you could go custom yourself and go in, and you can be like, right, I want more tackles in here. I want the build-up speed to be slower because we're playing realistic. I want all these things to be different. I want teams to cross more because I'm sick of the cutback, and I would like more crossing. This is all down to you and how you want to do it. I'm hoping they add more of these in as time goes on because these are great introductions. But we just want to keep it simple for now. So I have been using tactical. I am enjoying tactical. You are going to see the AI play differently. Sometimes it does get annoying. There'll be teams that you would never expect to start passing and pinging the ball about, playing tiki-taka, and they will do that. So let that be at your own risk. There will be a point this year when I actually get into the sliders where I play custom, and I will change this depending what team it is. If it's a team that builds up play very quickly, I'll ramp that up. It's a team that takes a lot of shots, I'll ramp the shot frequency up. So there is the play for that, but honestly, right now, tactical is more than good enough. Go with that. Now on to training. Training plans on, obviously. Don't go fixed rate. It's broken. I said it in a video recently. I'm going to say it again here. Fixed rate is broken in the game. Do not use this, or else honestly, it's going to ruin your save. And if you don't find out until later into the save, that's going to be frustrating. Now, I haven't messed with always full. Again, that's not realistic. So we're actually just going to have them on. I have default for recovery rates. You could change it so it's a bit more realistic. Choose how efficient your training plans are, how quickly they recover. This setting applies slower recovery and quicker decay. So if you go for realism, this is probably what you want. But there is a thin line on FC where there is realism and then there's fun. And I don't really like the training plans that much. I find them very boring. It's a mechanic that's in the game that I like that it's in there. And I do agree, you should probably have players get tired more. I have noticed since I've come up with a system, there's a video on that, go and watch that, but of how to manipulate or maneuver the fitness and the sharpness that I don't ever have to drop anyone because they're tired, which is a bit of a problem. So maybe realistic or just default. I've had it on default for most of it. I've left training plans the same as they are. Played training drills. I turned it off, but it's still on. So I've turned it off, but I still get suggested to do them. It's completely up to you. I just don't like gaining an advantage before a game. So development rates. Now, this is going to be personal preference, but this is my thought process. And from videos I've seen and my thoughts, I think development rate for seniors is fine this year. It is slower. They are going to develop a lot slower players, but I like that. That is a good thing for me. I sometimes feel like dynamic potential can ruin a save a little bit. I want it to actually take time for me to develop players. So I don't mind that. This, again, is your preference. I would never go slow, if I'm honest. But this, again, is your preference. But for the development rate youth, I do think if you're playing with a bigger team, you need to put this on fast. That is just pure and simple as that. If you're playing with a smaller team, you will still be fine on normal. But you really want to put this on fast. I might use fast every time now. I'm using normal at the minute, but I might always go with fast because you can't really see youth players just gain that growth out of nowhere and become a superstar out of nowhere, which your problem with that is it means you're probably then never going to use the youth players because you don't need to, or they don't grow quick enough to be like an overall that you're happy to have in your squad. So yeah, development rate for the youth players, it's not even that much of a drastic change, to be honest with you, from tests I've seen, but until we know more about it, I would go fast for the youth, in my opinion, no matter what save you're doing, to be honest. Now, transfers and scouting, obviously, we are disabling the first window. You're going to go strict, obviously, on the transfer approaches because, you know, it makes sense to go strict. It makes it a little bit more difficult. You're not going to be able to buy players from your rivals. And I just think anything that makes negotiation a little bit more difficult, but you actually have to put the window on, right? I've only just figured this out. I've only just found this out. So you have to put it as active to do this, which is really dumb. You should be if I choose realistic and strict here and then go, that's really annoying. I don't know if this is a setting you can change in game either. So I would have it on and just make no transfer signings then in the first window. I would go realistic and I would go strict. I've enjoyed realistic this year. They're going to negotiate with you more. They're not going to be as easy to negotiate with. They're going to, you know, you're going to test them a little bit in contract negotiations and in transfers. So this is something I definitely think you want to have on. And the only way to have it on is having the transfers active from the start. It's annoying, but just don't make any transfers in the first window then. I mean, do what you want. This is up to you. This is just a guideline. I have scouting on and search players on, but I just have them on fast and not instant. I like the scout system. I think there should be some scouting, but in the past, it has taken way too long. If you want it to be instant, that's absolutely fine. Completely up to you. Maybe instant for star players, because let's be honest, everybody knows in the world that Messi is great at football. Everybody in the world knows that Ronaldo's great at football. It doesn't matter if you're a scout at a Conference League side. So you're going to know that those superstar players are superstars, but you might need to scout the general players to figure out how good they are. That, again, is personal preference, but I've just gone fast with all of it. And that's pretty much it for the settings. You can have international on, you can have them off. That's completely up to you. The competitions, you can edit the pots. It is a league system this year for the European competitions, and I love it. You could do a financial takeover. Might not be that realistic. Depending on what team you are, you might go, right, Newcastle's budget in the game is whack. I'm going to just give them a load of money. Completely up to you. But I just wanted to chuck this video out there because I know you guys are going to be getting the game soon and you will probably want to know what some of the settings do and kind of make an informed decision on how you want to set up your save. Because after all, once you've set it up, you cannot edit these in game. No, some of them you can, but pretty much everything I showed you, minus the slider stuff, once you have chosen it on this settings screen, so make sure you're sure you want to do that, you can't go back. You can't revert them. You can't change settings as far as I'm aware. There might be an opportunity at the end of the season, but I don't know that at this stage. I haven't finished a full year yet. So just bear in mind, you probably will not be able to change these settings at all. So nailing these down to how you want them is going to be really important. And that's why this video is important. But I want to say thank you very much for watching. Appreciate you all. I hope you all have a great career mode and a great year on FC25. If you want some career mode content for myself, we've got a Spurs series running on the channel right now. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.